Howdy, with this essay, I want to go over the MLA medical essay, make sure you understand what I'm looking for there. That can be one that students overthink a little bit, so I want to make sure you find a good topic that's manageable uh, and that, make sure you're not writing your first book for your last essay. Doing this video on Wednesday, April 8th for the 10th, Friday, Journal 7 and 8 are due. Also looking for the topic for your medical essay. If you have more than one topic, send me all the topics you're thinking of, and I'm happy to go through them and kind of say like, no, 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 yes, yes, yes. But it might take one or two topic changes to get the right one for the essay you want to write. We're not going to do those assigned exercises. Everybody writing fairly well and doing a good job, not having major patterns of error, so I don't see a reason just to add busy work to the course. If you want some busy work, I guess I can come up with some, but let's stay focused on what we're doing with the essays. On Tuesday, I'm looking for your works citus page, the working bibliography. You want to see where you're doing your research. That's just a list of the sources that show the research you've done so far on the essay. Then the first two paragraphs are due on Friday, the 17th. The draft so far is due on the 21st, full draft on the 24th, final version on the 28th. On the final exam, it's nothing to worry about. You can already see it there on the journal entries. Just kind of a quick review of the course, asking if there's some things we can improve on or modify to make it a better course. And hopefully, not too many people in the course, so I should have those grades to you by Tuesday the 5th, and that'll be the end of the class. So one more major essay, a couple of little things, and you're on with whatever else you're going to do with your life. So let's go to the essay assignment. Actually, let's go to the essay assignment. With this one, you're going to write a 1,000-word minimum narrative research essay on the medical topic of your choice. Half the essay has to be you telling someone's story, and the other half has to be the research. We're not going to. This isn't a math class. If it's 30-70 or 60-40 or something, that's fine. Kind of depends on your topic. But the trick is you need to write about somebody you know or write about yourself. You're going to tell that person's story regarding this particular medical topic and then put the research into that story. So when you read the sample essay for journal number 7, I think, notice how she's talking about dementia and her grandmother's problems, but she's doing it within the framework of the grandmother's story. So one, you want to make sure, if you're going to talk about somebody else, that you have their permission to do so. That can be kind of tricky. I've had students say, I want to talk about my father's post-traumatic stress disorder. And it's like, that's kind of a topic people don't want to talk about, about themselves sometimes. That's part of the concern there. So make sure you have permission, make sure they're willing to talk about it. It doesn't have to be life-threatening illness. I've had good ones on peanut allergies or ACL tears. Sports injuries tend to work really well for this essay because you can kind of narrow that down pretty quickly and focus on what you want to talk about. So don't think you have to know somebody with brain cancer or something. Hopefully you don't. But this is certainly a doable essay for minor medical issues that you can write a good essay on. But kind of keep that in mind. Sometimes it's easier to talk about yourself. It's easy to interview yourself. You know your story and things like that. Or you can go ask somebody who was with you. Maybe for more information. If you do somebody else, you're kind of relying on them for the information, and that can be kind of tricky. But it's kind of up to you. If there's somebody you really want to write about, go for it. You got to avoid a 3-point thesis. We're kind of getting a little beyond that 5-paragraph format, not way beyond it, but I'll probably have 6, 7, 8 paragraphs in this essay. You're going to reference a minimum of 3 authoritative sources, ones that are reliable. I'm going to show you the databases here in a second. The Tennessee Electronic Library, that's what TEL stands for, are the same databases we're using at the Northeast State Library. The Tennessee Electronic Library are your tax dollars at work. This is free. If you did research papers in high school, you're probably using the TEL databases already. This might look like in a slightly different format for Northeast State. But they should be reliable and authoritative. If you have to interview somebody, they count as a source. They were there, they know your story, or they know their story, so they count as a good source. And you can feel free to go over 3 sources. That's just kind of the minimum there, right? I want to see at least 2 images in your essay. Just kind of added that the past couple of years, and that's really made the essays a lot better. It's surprising what students can do with an image that they can't do with their writing. So, for example, if you're going to talk about your ACL tear, instead of spending 15 paragraphs describing a knee to me, show me a picture. And Hopefully a picture that has a little arrow saying, hey, this is where the ACL is. You've saved yourself a lot of just strenuous writing. That's going to be kind of boring to read anyway. So those images can help quite a bit. Uh, and again, it kind of depends on your topic and what you want to do there. I'm going to go with the long quotes, short quote summary, and paraphrase. Again, we want to keep practicing with MLA formatting. It's not going to be a major part of the grade, but again, once you finish this class, you can go on to Comp 1, and you want to have a little bit of background there to make sure you succeed in that course if you choose to go that way. Well, two forms of figured language, you'll do that naturally without thinking about it. And you might do it as a hook in the first paragraph. You're gonna notice with that sample essay. It's kind of like, have you ever lost your keys? Have you ever done this? And of course, someone my age is like, yeah. But it just kind of says, well, that's normal. But here's what happens when it's, I don't know, gets a little more serious than that. And don't use it. Just trying to write better sentences there. So again, keep in mind you're telling someone's story and putting the research into it. So hopefully you can find a good topic that you want to write about, and that you're interested in kind of researching a little bit. To get you going on this, you got journals 7 and 8 to do. These are maybe a little bit more involved than previous ones. For number 7, let me make that a little bit bigger. You got to read the sample essay. It's up there on the content page. Kind of bear with me, my internet's a little slow. Under help material, and there's a sample research medical essay in MLA format. And you're just going to read through that. You're going to notice there's my commentaries on the side. The first page is just a little review of MLA formatting. You got to credit your sources, use them fairly. Some things I like about the essay. But you're going to notice she starts with an introduction paragraph, kind of hooking you into the essay. Like I said, have you ever lost your keys, forgotten someone's name? Of course, most of us have. Then she's kind of introduce her essay, then talk about her grandmother. Then you notice in the second paragraph, she starts introducing her grandmother, start building that story. And with most medical issues, it's kind of a process, right? You kind of normal, happy, and healthy. Then you start getting some kind of symptoms. Then you go to the doctor and get a diagnosis. Then the doctor prescribes treatment. Then the treatment works or it doesn't. And you might get more treatment. And then you got kind of your future after that. Maybe the treatment worked and you're cured, or maybe something like dementia or Alzheimer's, the treatments might stem it off for a little bit, but it doesn't have a particularly good outcome. But you kind of notice that process taking place within a disease or medical problem. With like an ACL tear, not a lot of symptoms. You went up to shoot the basketball, you came down, pop, and then you're on the ground, probably screaming and crying. Those can hurt quite a bit, right? But notice she starts with that second paragraph. She starts setting up the story, and tell you, introducing her grandmother, what she was like before she started having symptoms. Then she's going to move on to symptoms. Then once you get a diagnosis, you're going to start defining the disease. So you may be on page 2 before you even start thinking about putting research into your essay. You might spend those first couple of paragraphs, introducing what you're going to talk about, then start that person's story. But I'm not going to read this whole essay to you. You're going to notice commentary along the side there. Just kind of pointing out, this is a good paraphrase, this is a good summary. Here's what a long quote looks like. Here's what a short quote looks like. And hopefully after doing that career essay, some of this is starting to make more sense to you. You can read a sample essay and kind of go like, oh, okay, that's why that citation's there. She's using a source and putting information into her essay. But definitely notice she's telling her grandmother's story, putting the research into it. This one's much longer than the one you're going to work with. So when you start sending me your topics, I'm going to start giving you suggestions about how to narrow it down. For something like Alzheimer's, you can kind of tell she's really struggling not to write her first book here. It's just such a huge topic, spanning many, many years of a person's life. It's very difficult to narrow that down to a 1,000-word essay. So we might talk about, taking care of someone in stage 4 dementia, if that's even a stage, but or at the beginning, trying to get somebody diagnosed with Alzheimer's. What's the difference between just growing older and a little forgetful and actually having a serious medical problem? So as you start sending me your topics, definitely going to try and work with you to narrow that down, so you're writing a good 1,000-word essay that fully develops your topic and gives us good information. There's a good works cited page there, formatted properly. But hopefully reading that sample essay kind of gives you a sense of what we're looking for with the essay. This one's over twice as long as the one you're going to do. That's again, it has she does a really good job of summary and paraphrase. That's a good one to look at. And where journal entries go. For the next journal entry, number 8, you're going to go to the Northeast State Library, the databases. There's a direct link there. I'm going to take you the long way real quickly, but you can just click on this link. To get to the library, if you've never been there before, and again, we're not on campus anymore, so this is all electronic. You're going to go to the Northeast State homepage, not D2L, but just the Northeast State homepage. And you should see this all courses moved to online for the remainder of the semester, which I don't know why. Are there any students that don't know that yet? But anyway, I'm not in charge of the website. We're going to go down to the Students tab and down to Library. And the databases are right here under Online Databases. And this is where that link, direct link within the journal entries takes you. I want you to go to H, for health. Health and wellness is a good one. Health and medicine can be pretty good. We're going to go to health and wellness though. This is generally a database designed for students writing, particularly college and high school students writing about medical issues, which is exactly what you're doing, right? I got to think about my password. Haven't had to log into a Northeast State computer in a while. You will be asked your username and password because you're going to be doing this from off campus. And it takes a little time. Go get yourself a cup of coffee, read War and Peace. And eventually you're going to get to this page. There's different places you can go. If you've got a fairly common disease or condition, this disease is in condition, it's a good place to start. You can do a search. If you do the search, make sure you spell the condition properly. So if you got a big long word for your condition, you might have to look it up there. But let's say I want to do lung cancer. There's 2 different ones there. That's liver cancer, I'm sorry. We'll click on lung cancer. Let's see what we get. And we're going to get an overview here. We're going to click on read more. And again, you got to be very patient. If you're used to click, 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 you got to kind of like, and that's pretty normal response from students like, why is it so slow? But we're going through about 5,000 different servers to get to this. So kind of keep that in mind. But you're going to get an overview of lung cancer, the different types. This is a peer-reviewed article. It's written by doctors, and other doctors read it to make sure it's accurate. All the symptoms. And as you're writing your essay, you might be comparing, say, your Uncle Joe's symptoms with lung cancer to the research. Does he have kind of the normal symptoms? Did he have some really unusual symptoms? Then you get to the diagnosis, the treatment, survival rates, things like that. But the neat thing about this is down here, there's more websites with additional resources. The American Cancer Society, National Cancer Institute, places like that. So the research shouldn't take you 500,000 hours. If you get to the database, one, you're going to get a good source right here. Then you're going to get more suggestions at the bottom for good, reliable sources. The neat thing, when you use the databases, you can come down here to MLA 8th edition. It's already on there. You can copy and paste that into your essay, and you're doing your works citus page, which is really, really, really nice. The databases have these automatic citation generators that do things for you. And that's what we want to do. We want to use technology to our advantage, right? But that's what you're going to be doing with, oops, I got lost there. With the journal entries, want you to discuss 1 or 2 of the sources you find. What are they saying about the condition? Want to make sure you're finding sources, narrowing your topic down, getting ready to write a really good 1,000-word medical research essay on a medical topic. I think that's about it. So like I said, this one, it takes a little more time to get the essay going because you want to make sure you have a good narrow topic. If you have a good topic, then the essay, I don't want to say it writes itself, you got to write it, but you kind of see where you're going with it and can write a good, and hopefully it's at least interesting to you to research an issue like this and kind of see what happened there. I think that's it. If you have any questions, be sure and let me know. If you have, as you send your topics, like I said, if you want to send more than want to send a couple that you're thinking about, I'm happy to help you there. But we'll get off here. We'll talk to you later. Bye bye.